DailyAstrocat.com, the weekly astrology report.
On this week's Daily Astrocat report, Mars squares Pluto, Venus enters Virgo, Venus opposes Saturn, and Pluto is now direct.
All right, so we have the mighty Sun is going to be opposing Chiron, the wounded healer. Action-oriented Mars is going to enter Scorpio. Oh boy, this is going to be scary, right? Mars, same action planet, going to trine Saturn. Oh, Saturn, the planet of limitations. Let's go, okay? This is going to be, hey, limitations are your friend, right? This is going to be good. Mercury, mental Mercury, is going to oppose Chiron, the wounded healer, and an annular eclipse arrives, and we're going to get into that as we get further into this. The moon's going to begin the week in some sign, and it's going to end this week in another sign, so we didn't change that. So whatever it happens to be...
Oh, dear.
It's actually going to end the week in Libra, and it probably begins the week in, if not, I think it's Cancer.
Leo.
It's just the end of Cancer, if not Leo.
Yeah.
So it was Cancer yesterday because yesterday was crap. Okay. So anyway,
no, we were in Leo.
No, it was Cancer. It was Leo in the evening. It was
Yesterday
Cancer
evening,
in the morning.
Saturday night, yeah.
Yes.
So this week begins in Leo.
This week begins in Leo. That's correct. All right. So anyway, hey guys, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Lunar Weekly Astrocat Preview. It's time to kind of concentrate and maybe focus.
Intentions that are intentions well met.
We have yet to make them. Trust me. I'm Shane Jensen. Hey, I'm your astrologer. We like to do this all together, right? We're going to try to do this as best we can. Traditional Western astrology, I'm an intuitive astrologer.
And I'm Carrie Cardero Jensen. I'm a kitchen witch, co-conspirator to this guy, songstress, and neurospicy nerd for all things New Age.
Okay, so 19 years ago, Carrie and I embarked on a journey together. At this time, we only knew how we felt. Music was a force that had brought us together. My world was still reeling and winding down. In 5 short months, the nodes went from a Taurus-Scorpio axis to the Aries-Libra axis. Now, these nodes are where the eclipses occur. They're not real points, but they're points out there where the Earth, the plane of the Earth and the Sun meet. So that's where the eclipse is coming from, and that's where this eclipse is going to occur this week. It occurs in the South Node, which is in Libra, which means the Sun and Moon are going to come together, and the Moon is actually far away from the Earth. We'll get into this later, but that's why you're going to see the ring, like this stupid shadow on my glasses. It looks just like that, trust me. Okay, so this set into motion a series of first, fourth, and fifth house events for me personally. Now, remember, first house is your house of self. That's the house that you're into. So, you know, that's all things you. Fourth house is family, your mother. It's maternally related. It's also family. Fifth house is your creativity and your house of children. This is what the traditional astrologers say. We're going to twist these around as we go, but don't worry about that. For right now, that's what you need to know. First, fourth, and fifth house. So who I am, where I'm from, or where I'm at currently, and creativity. Now, without going into great detail, I can tell you this nodal shift that we experienced 19 years ago was the beginning of an end. For me, it was an inverse nodal transit.
Okay, what is an inverse nodal transit, actually?
Meaning that the north node and south node are flipped. So for me, when I was...
From when you were born?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. I was born in the Virgo Pisces, even though there was a Virgo Pisces nodal axis. Now it's flipped around. However, that switched at that point. The eclipse that occurred on my birthday was still in Aries, even though it was Virgo Pisces. That's how it works. There's 12 degrees of play in those. I didn't know this at the time. I didn't even know that I was resetting or shedding something, like shedding my skin. Wasn't that heavily into this astrology stuff and everything like that. So there was no real need to look at it, right? I'm a musician. That's what I was doing. I was playing. Okay.
You believed in coincidence enough.
I did.
You knew your moon things.
Mm-hmm. I know this now. Listen, even opposing signs in a chart have similarity, okay? If we look at the nodes, Mars and Chiron are conjunct with them practically. We can begin to see how this balance works. So the nodes in Mars and Chiron, we can see how this give and take happens. Last week we said that Aries was about me, whereas Libra was about you, meaning the significant other you or
Right.
a contractual you or just not the group you. The group you is more Aquarius. It's more of an intimate you.
A personal you. Yeah.
Personal you. That's correct. At the point of the nodes, we stand at this point right now where we're at, we stand ready to go through a reenactment ritual of a backwards journey of the soul's rebirth, okay?
That's
this
pretty
is
far out.
what we're doing, okay? This is like what you go through. This is the things that we're going to have to get rid of and shed.
Sounds like some heavy stuff. How about the rebirth of a channel, maybe?
It could be.
Learning about astrology is really fun, and the cats have made it like crazy and fun. Maybe we can find a happy place where this can all meet and share some knowledge.
I get it. So hey, here we go then. Let's do this. This week is going to get louder than most. Yep, and the end of last week was really loud.
Oh, God.
So, here we go. There's a lot of things that are changing. First things first, a couple of bullies are going to square off.
Oh, bullies. Will this be bad? The good, bad, and the ugly?
Nope, it will not, but it's going to result in some blurred lines, that's for sure.
Oh, boy.
Sitting in one corner of the chart, weighing in at however much Mars weighs, or Pluto weighs even, is planet Pluto. Now, Pluto is very far away from the sun. Do you remember how far the Earth is from the sun, Carrie?
I remember you said it was 1 astronomical unit.
That is correct. Very good. 1 AU, astronomical unit, is 93 million miles. Pluto is 39.5 AUs from the sun. So that'll give you some idea of the distance. The light from the sun takes 5.5 hours to get to Pluto.
I don't know if you have this factoid, but how long does it take to get to Earth then?
To Earth?
Yeah.
Oh, very, very, very. Well, take 5.5 and divide it by 40, and you got that.
Like a quarter of a second.
20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes.
Something like that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hours. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes. 20
Yeah.
minutes to go 93 million miles.
Don't math with Carrie.
So, Pluto is beginning to station at this moment. Oh, you know what that means, right? It stops. The apparent movement stops because this Earth is starting to overtake it. And soon it's just going to be normal. Pluto will be moving forward. This means that if you knew where to look for Pluto in the night sky, you would notice Pluto not moving. Now,
Right,
you can't
night
really
after
see
night
it in the
after
night.
night,
That's
yeah.
correct.
But this apparent lack of motion intensifies an already intense planet. So Pluto's still in Capricorn, and Pluto retrograde in this spot brings Saturn in Pisces into the mix because, Capricorn,
The
Capricorn
ruler,
and Saturn.
the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the words. So, what's the flavor of this combo, you think?
Salty and fishy.
Whoa.
Kind of Icelandic, to be honest.
I mean, I like fish, but not in context of combos. Like, I was hoping for just pizza flavor. That's kind of
Listen, sorry. Saturn is old school traditional, okay? Viking snacks it is.
Nordic treats, yes.
Yes. Think about this. Iceland has a rich tradition of folklore and fairy stories.
Fairy stories.
Then there's Bjork.
Yeah.
She's the living embodiment of both.
Yeah. Bjork and some of the chocolate is, yeah.
And I understand that England has this old vibe to it too, but listen, Iceland just screams Saturn and Pisces. There's a freedom of expression to the expressions of Pisces things that really stand out in my mind. It's a freedom that is firmly rooted in tradition. I checked around, and guess what? The chart for the day of the Icelandic independence has Saturn in Pisces.
That's crazy. How coincidental is that? That's totally great. And you discovered that after you felt that it was rocking the Saturn and Pisces vibe.
Yep.
That's insane.
So the thermal pools and volcanic activity are Plutonian in nature. It's what Plutonian means, really. That comes up from under the Earth. This is the place on Earth where the plutonic activity has actually created new land within our lifetime. The volcanoes erupted and they made a new island.
Yeah.
Right off the coast of Iceland. It's off limits to everything because they're just letting it evolve naturally. Pluto is things that are hidden from our sight.
Yes.
And here is Pluto feeling very Icelandic in a way that the female, in a way, Icelandic.
Icelandic in a way, yes.
Yes, in the female earth sign Capricorn. This is one of the final moments we have to check on some Capricorn issues in our lives. This is a time to get ready for the new, old persons, places, and things. Hey, some of that stuff's going to be changing.
So what are more Capricorn issues? I mean, that's work stuff too, and that's...
Capricorn, yeah, but we're talking Capricorn's influence on Pluto at this point.
Oh, on
So we're
Pluto.
talking about Pluto. So, what changes could go on with Pluto and Saturn, with Saturn? Well, time marches on. So people pass on. People move on. Jobs change. Places change. You can never go back again. Go to the beach. It's always different. All right? That's the way it is. That's just the way. The only thing we have guaranteed is change.
And to some folks, that could sound rather bleak.
All right. So, here's your ultimatum that Pluto's going to offer you with Mars. Health or else.
Health or else.
This is where you will decide a course to take for the next cycle. The beauty is that we have many to choose from. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's a good one. Ben Franklin is a famous Capricorn who said that.
Oh, he was a Capricorn? Really? That's cool.
Yeah, plus he had 2 birthdays. Well,
how does that happen?
He was born in Boston, Massachusetts on January 6, 1706. But in 1752, Great Britain switched calendars from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, and there were 11 days lost or skipped. That changed Franklin's birthday to January 17th.
Wow.
But
man, that's like when they changed the drinking ages.
Kind of, sort of. But, Ben Franklin actually wrote that he felt like he was more January 6th than he was the 17th.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, which shows an awareness of one of the founding fathers of astrology. Go figure.
Very interesting. So what does that all have to do with this week, though?
Well, Pluto's ready to change things up. Boom, change. Saturn in Pisces is one way to view where these potential areas of change could possibly be. That whole Chiron and Aries south node at 24 degrees of Libra are the first to change.
So what effect are these changes going to have on our actions, you suppose?
Just about everything. Mars is a personal planet. Coming up against this Pluto and Saturn vibe offers us a chance to see these things for what they are, okay? Look at the changes. Look at the progress you've made in your life. Look at where you're at in your life. We may not be able to take action at this time, and Pluto in Capricorn isn't really looking for a solution. This is old ground. This is very old ground. This ground is stuff that we should have covered before. It's an older shadow position for Pluto. It's a strong reactionary force. Reactionary being the opposite of revolutionary. Reactionary is where the revolution, the reaction is the action to that revolution, okay? It will not withstand a challenge.
It seems that Pluto will test us by changing up a Saturn thing in our lives then.
What it does is it gives us more opportunities. There's a better thing happening. What can Mars and Libra bring to Saturn in Pisces?
Perhaps a boatload of legal matters to be adjudicated in the most novel and expeditious way?
If only. How about we go really deep?
How deep?
What if we decide the right thing to do is to give up at this point and just a little bit of our ego?
Give up a little ego, huh?
Give up a little ego. In other words, just give it up. We need to have faith in those around us who believe in us. This acknowledgement can lead to us finding a higher purpose. By serving others, we can begin to find more inventive ways for going about this.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, the ego thing is kind of, you got to frame it a little differently. You have to stop saying what you need and what you think you are, as opposed to, like, what you are, what you share, how you project yourself.
Or how about what you want to become?
Yeah.
How about projecting some of that into it? How about being that better person or that higher person and seeing the purpose in everything and being like, I'm bringing this forward. I'm going to offer you this. What can you offer me in return? This is a beneficial relationship. What have you done for me? Why do I have to do this? Why are you doing that? That does not work. That does not bode well. It's that coming together at a higher. It's when both sides aim higher. That's where we come together.
Mm-hmm.
So
And once you're aiming higher, all the rest of the quote unquote lower things do fall into place. So inventive ways for going about things like that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe Aquarius inventive. So does that make it a Saturn thing?
That's a very wise observation. Saturn retrograde in Pisces will just about leave Pisces. I mean, we're talking
Oh yeah, he like backtracked all that way, almost up to Aquarius.
to 0
right?
degrees Pisces.
Dang.
You can't get any.
That's insane.
You can't get any more almost Aquarius than that. That's
you're literally
0.21, 0 degrees, 21 minutes. So there's only 21 minutes separating Saturn from Aquarius. He goes direct on November 4th. What happens is that we have these little things called cusp things, right? What's to keep Saturn from being influenced by Aquarius? Or what's to keep Aquarius from being influenced by Saturn?
Yeah, all that cuspy stuff happens. So it's, yeah.
The Saturn retrograde in Pisces, just about there, you're going to feel that Aquarius energy bleeding through. And since Pluto is heading towards that direction, this makes that very, very important. It's almost like if you imagine flowing fabric of space and time.
Like kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is still in Pisces, so technically. So why do we even have degrees and demarcations if you're just going to bend and twist them? But, oh wait.
Yeah.
This is about the Mooncat flow.
It's a
after
flow.
all.
It's not the Mooncat chart. We don't say, here, I'm in the Mooncat chart.
And it's Mooncats. As we all know, cats are liquid. They can fit in any vessel you present to them,
So it's
as long as it's not valuable.
The Mooncat flow, not the Mooncat chart. This is the way things are going to be according to Sirius. No.
Yes.
It's not like that. It's like
No.
we're talking about energy, we're talking about flow, we're talking about give and take and ebb and flow and all sorts of wonderful things. So
He's talking about, I think this is going to be a good chipmunk day, you know?
you never know. That's what Sirius lives for.
But your predictions are quite good. We've learned that the energies that we discuss in the Daily Astrocat Daily Forecast can kind of give or take 48 hours to actually happen. Like those influences. It's all like cuspy occurrences. You know, sometimes that energy takes time to develop. Sometimes it kind of just barrel asses right in.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the full moon, the last full moon was a great example because that seemed to last a couple of days.
I remember what was the last full moon in because we still got to drink our moon water.
Aries.
It was Aries. Oh my goodness.
It was Aries. So, I mean,
Oh, no
we
wonder
still
why we're
had
in a rut.
I understand that, but like last week's broadcast that we did that you didn't watch was absolutely bat chart. Okay, to borrow one of your terms.
Yeah.
Yes, as if the bat wore pants and he sharted them. All right. So anyway,
Just his fur. I don't know.
does this fit? Does this work? That's what you want to ask. You know, does this vision, this model of what we're saying is happening, this flow, the fabric, the ebb and flow and the weaving? Yeah, it does. Imagine the universe not like a flat piece of paper. You know, just a two-dimensional thing, like just grab any piece of paper, random paper. Look, a fragrance card. Here's the universe. No, that's not the universe. The universe is this big thing in this fabric, and it has gravity wells and all sorts of things running through it. Oh, no, there's gravity wells. It's tiny space warps around larger stars and planets.
No, I'm just laughing because, like, the whole fabric thing, and I'm just, like, laughing like, you know the way it twists and turns.
Oh, God. All right. So anyway, it's a complex device. It could be like Ezekiel's wheel, a wheel within a wheel. You never know. Or maybe like a big piece of fabric.
Gotta be one really big piece of fabric. The whole stinking universe. It's kind of a roundabout way to say that signs shift and shifts happen.
Yeah.
Shifts happen.
Shifts happen.
Shifts happen.
Yeah. So Mars shows up. Ta-da, I'm here. I'm Mars. I'm going to enter my sign of Scorpio. Now, sitting at 21 degrees. There's that 21 again. All right. At 0 degrees, 21 minutes. of Scorpio sits Haumea. Now, we're going to go into Haumea next week, but Mars is going to meet her first.
Brief what Haumea is?
Haumea is one of the Kuiper Belt objects. So she's out there beyond Pluto in the Kuiper Belt. Pluto is also a Kuiper Belt object. And she is sitting currently at 21 minutes of Scorpio. Not even 21 degrees. 0 degrees, 21 minutes. Same position that, coincidentally, Saturn backs up to.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to keep an eye on this one because those two 21s are kind of important. 22 was a very important number to us a while back when we were talking about the yod with Venus and Pluto and Neptune sextile. So we're going to get back to this. So 21, 22, there's not much of a difference there. 21 minutes, 0 degrees, that's different, okay? That's 0, 0. 0, 0 with a fraction. We'll get back to you on this. And we're going to get back to you on Haumea too. But Mars shows up and has a double influence. He desperately wants positive change. Positive actions, for one, could have negative consequences for others. The point of all this talk is to try and distill the purest essence of the energies in play.
Well, where Mars is involved, my guess is this is going to require action. Kind of seems to have taken up a lot of time, like this
whole discussion.
Yeah, one little part of it. We only talked about a single aspect.
We did. We do have both Mercury and Venus changing signs and the eclipses.
Okay, let me test you then.
Okay, deal. This is a Mars-Pluto activity. Pluto is holding great power. A focused effort from Mars can direct this power into really energizing the planets that will soon be in opposition. Because the planets that are in opposition with Mars or the node will actually be coming into that same trine relationship, the square relationship with Pluto as well. So Pluto is going to test every single planet before it goes into Scorpio.
We didn't begin yet and you changed the rules?
Well, it's very Uranus of me, right?
Oh my goodness.
Aquarius is going to be one of the important areas this coming year. The lines blur because the universe isn't static. We're in a constant state of motion.
All right. So Mercury leaves Virgo for Libra then, huh?
Yep. It's an easygoing way to think about these things, okay? This is going to be an easygoing way. We know that details matter, and hopefully we were diligent and have emerged from this exit of Mercury in Virgo in very good form. In other words, you had all this time to worry about your stuff, okay? Mercury went retrograde in its own sign, in the exalted sign of Virgo. That was kind of crazy. Things got kind of nuts. Hopefully you have everything under control.
That was a pretty intense time, yeah.
Hopefully you've been able to make some notes from it, get some things under control, get things better in your grasp. We're talking work, we're talking home, we're talking everything. The new form implies newer challenges for us in our Mercury areas, okay? Thought, speech, communication will all be things that we can use to promote partnership and understanding. We all need to get along, so use your gifts as such.
Yeah.
Venus has taken her new lists and is going to transport those to Libra.
Oh, she's got a whole list.
Oh, not
checking
Libra.
It twice, huh?
Wait a minute. That's bad. Virgo. Oh, yes. But you know what? She's going to be entering Virgo, but she wants to get that list of things to Libra. Here's
Really?
a problem. The rule of the earth sign of the spring finds little bits of sadness this time of year. The fruits of summer have been savored and stored. Persephone is now the queen of the underworld. Where has the profit and beauty gone? Perhaps she just needs to do this quickly, like get through this Virgo stuff.
Huh.
Venus just goes, boop, 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 boop. Venus is technically in fall in Virgo.
Really?
Yes, really.
I had no idea of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of bizarre.
It is kind of bizarre, and it doesn't really fit intuitively.
No, it doesn't fit intuitively at all.
And I think I do mention some of this later on, as in some of the other writings.
Oh, I definitely want more on that later, because that's where my Venus is at.
Mm-hmm.
But this transit is necessary. What if there's an idea in Virgo that Venus can hold in her mind's eye?
Venus is carrying an enormous amount of pride and love. Her first test in Virgo is with Saturn.
Oh, boy.
And we just talked about Saturn, right? And here she must decide. Saturn in Pisces is unfathomable at this juncture. We need to explore the depths of Pisces, but for what and how? This is a job for my significant other. Oh, yes. This is definitely a job for my significant other, meaning if Venus were to say that. Oh, Mars.
Yeah. Well, forget about thinking and overthinking how to get through this. Yeah, preaching to the choir here. Me saying no overthinking? Oh, boy. Just do the stinking things that you originally intended to do. Do them. Don't think, do. Whoa.
It's one thing to course correct. You know, I don't like too many aspects and obscure aspects, especially in these charts. If I were to start throwing squares and semi-sextiles at you, your eyes would glaze over and you just go, oh my God, why are you talking about that stuff? Get to the meat of it, okay? Let's get direct. It doesn't make astrology better, okay? It just provides more maybes. Oh, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that. No, if Saturn asks Venus a simple question, what you're carrying with you, is it worth it? What are you willing to give up in order to find passion in such a currently barren place? Is precision, logic, and attention to detail going to stave off your desire for all the Leo things on your list?
Oh.
That discussion is going to come later. Saturn's here to remind you to start revising your list and maybe make it more realistic. Limitations, you know those limitations? And
now, it's interesting that you say that because, like, precision, logic, and attention to detail seems like it's going to be like the thing that Saturn wants. But in this, you're saying that
those are Virgo things.
Yeah.
Precision, logic, attention to detail are Virgo things. Will it stave off your desire for all the... Think about it. You're in Leo. You're making a list. I got everything on there. I've got the fancy perfume. I got the expensive wine. I got the Lambo, sitting in my mind. I want that car. This is what Venus is thinking. No, I have no use for a Lambo. Trust me. No. There'd be no more Astrocat if that were that, because I'd be not here. Okay, I would drive that thing too fast. Just my nature. Okay, I know better. This is a self-limitation. Saturn, right there. Saturn saying, no, Shane, you cannot have a Lamborghini. No, Shane, your car has to almost be held together with duct tape, because otherwise you will go too fast, okay? That's exactly what it is.
We like old cars around
here.
No,
Shane. No. You can not have a car that does over the safe speed limit, okay?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there are some safe, 70, 80s, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Look, it's Saturn. Now, the moon is going to provide Venus the cover she will need to get the things that she wants. Okay? Just as Venus and the moon are conjunct, Pluto is direct. Oh, that's a good one, huh?
So what does this mean?
Well, the whole chart resonates with this focused Plutonian energy because Pluto is stationing, and that just intensifies the power of Pluto.
Okay.
Stationing. The moon, leaving Leo, is actually conjunct with Venus this week. So now the moon can bring some of that Leo energy and just use it for Venus, because that's an emotional thing. It's like, oh, yeah, but you still deserve these things, don't you? Yeah, well, Saturn's in Pisces, and he's in Aquarius. Tell him to figure out how to get it for you. He's got that inventive stuff, right?
Yeah.
He's got that inventive stuff going on. Now, maybe we're going to have to bend a couple of rules for it, but that might be okay. Nobody said that the planets are, have a high morality. They bend morals all the time. They go chasing nymphs and humans and everything like that, throwing progeny across the universe.
Yes.
Basically in the stories. But what do we have going on here? Just this, look, the moon shows Venus the ways of humility and service. What would the moon say, Carrie?
Oh, what would the moon say?
What would the moon say,
I have
Carrie?
to be the moon now?
Yeah, why not?
Drop the facade, my dear, and let service bring you the accolades. We don't deserve anything if we aren't willing to put in the effort. This is Saturn's message to you.
Now, that's an interesting thing, right? Because Saturn is the taskmaster. Okay, Saturn is like, oh, you work. But the thing about Capricorn is that sign of career, that 10th house is that sign of career. When you work, there's a reward for it. Jupiter, on the other hand, tells you, oh, you can have all this and more. Just gamble here. Do you want the curtain or you want the box over there? Which one's better for you? It's like a game show, but with your life, okay? Now, do you want this one or do you want that one? Now, chances are you could go home with neither, okay? Because you set your eye on that, you set your eye on that. You got Jupiter telling you, oh, you got good luck coming your way. Saturn says, do the work. Do the work. Get the reward. Venus, you want the nice things. Virgo's here to remind you not to take away the nice things. Be realistic about it, but do the work. If you can't do the work, you don't get the nice things. That's how that does it in a nutshell. So now we're going to go back to some of our cat stories that we kind of had, which were fun, which were always fun.
Yeah, they really did a lot to illustrate some of the more vague vibes.
Now, one of the ones that I came up with early was the story of the twin dragons. The twin dragons went with the eclipses, and they would always launch in opposite directions. There was one white dragon and one dark dragon, and one would emanate from the solar eclipse, and the other would emanate from the lunar eclipse. So we had, the dark energy of the lunar and the light energy of the solar. Actually, I think it works out backwards, though, because the dark moon carries the energy, so the dark dragon follows the new moon. All right? So, the Aries new moon and Scorpio full moon have run their course. That was back in April. We had an Aries new moon and we had a Scorpio full moon. They're done. Now we await a new season. The first one releases the creative energy of Libra with the dark dragon Umbra. This one follows the zodiac and brings a little bit of this month's Libra energy into every subsequent new moon. So we're going to constantly be working together. We're going to be trying to harmonize things. We're going to be doing our best. And we're not going to try to make too many enemies, okay? Because Libra is also the house of unseen enemies or seen or known enemies. So we have to be careful of that. This is time for us to really focus on this. See, I always throw a time reference in there every time the clock goes because I just like it too much. And we're going to learn to nurture relationships at work and at home. This is a very important point, too. This is a nurturing thing. We're going to nurture those relationships at work and at home, in our daily life and in our art. This is a decidedly good thing to focus on. The eclipse occurs with the moon at apogee. Now, this is the part that we told you where we start describing apogee is far away, perigee is close. Supermoon is when the full moon is close. So that's where we're at. And it's 11 o'clock here on Sunday. Very good. That's 11 strikes of the clock. Now, the new moon in Libra is at the opposite end of that supermoon we had in Aries. The Aries full moon that we just had. This results in an annular eclipse or a ring of fire eclipse.
Ooh.
The moon just gets right in the sun and it doesn't blot out the sun and it just leaves a ring around it.
Oh, that's pretty.
The moon's too far away to block out the sun entirely.
Yeah, except we aren't going to see this here, are we?
No, this is a West Coast event from Portland, Oregon, all the way down to South America. The eclipse will help us incorporate the changes that we have in action. Ready for some best days?
Oh, best days already.
Best
Here
days
we are.
already. Yeah,
My
I know.
goodness.
So much time flies when you're having fun, right? So
the best day for love
is going to be next week.
Oh, there's not one this week?
Nope, not one this
dear.
week.
That's a drag.
Listen, don't
That's
let
not
feelings
great.
weigh you down.
Oof.
Remain objective and go where the evidence leads.
Objectivity.
Objectivity.
Okay.
Don't get caught up in any drama or anything like that. Just be objective, okay?
No more drama. All right. The best day for business?
Is Thursday. Resist the urge to go scorched earth.
To burn everything to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Oh,
Remember, this is
boy.
just a small portion of a very long-range goal. I mean, you may feel that energy from Mars and just be like, you gotta Hulk out, Hulkamania's gonna run all over you, or the Incredible Hulk smash.
Yes.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You got a longer plan to go, okay? And besides, you keep your shirts intact.
So the best day for health?
Best day for health is going to be Wednesday. drop another bad habit, or maybe you can start a good one for a change.
Yeah, maybe if you do right by your health on Wednesday, you won't feel so compelled to go scorched earth on Thursday, eh?
Don't know.
Maybe.
What have you been pumping iron? And you're like, oh, girly man, and you're like, oh. No, that's not going to happen.
The best day for transformation.
Saturday. Oh boy, I just made Willie jump. This
dear.
new moon can be very useful. It's the eclipse day. Embrace the ideals and methods of this air sign creativity. Hey, it's a Venus eclipse, right? Venus rules it. She's in Virgo. Be precise. Be very, very, very precise in what you're asking the universe for. Make sure you make those manifestations. If you don't ask, you won't receive. And you have to be very, very cognizant of that, okay? If you forget to ask, or if you don't ask, how are you going to get it? How are you going to receive anything if you're just not like, hey, universe, I really hope that you can give me this. No, that's sitting there. You go, universe, I need this, this, and this. Once you ask for it, you state it, you manifest it, you're all done. I want you to use this method this week to make sure that when this eclipse hits, you will be well set up going into next year and beyond. Because this eclipse cycle is going to take us all the way till April when it occurs again. We'll have new eclipses, a new set of eclipses. This will actually go through, and all this stuff that we just went through, not this crazy stuff, but the good stuff the couple of weeks before, we're going to come back to. We're going to have all those juicy trines with Jupiter and Uranus, and just there's some energy there that you can use, but you're going to, by next year at this time, you will know how to better utilize those energies. That's the promise of this eclipse and this cycle.
Cool.
So, things are going to get a little bit more wilder, okay? When Venus was in Leo, she was content when we flexed our strength. In Virgo, she will be guarding her treasure as others try to determine what she's worth. Her worth isn't what she's holding.
It is not in what she's holding. It's in what she can create. By the time we leave Libra, we'll have completely shed our skin. The beauty of our new growth will be there for all to see.
All right. So, hey, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Get to do this all together. Like, share, follow, hit the bell for notifications.
Did you work your magic this week? I sure hope so. Talk to us, chat us up, and give us some feedback on our socials, reels, and videos. I mean, you took it upon yourself to get some of that done?
I did the week before.
Cool.
Yeah, you didn't read that the week before, but you skipped it last week, and now this week you did it. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and nobody did it this last week. So maybe we're both going to have to get on that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
Hey,
so.
anywhere where you get your podcasts, that's where we're at. Podcasts. That's what we are. Podcasts.
There's a podcat doing his pod things in the corner, actually.
All right. Last week I mentioned too many radio stations.
Radio stations.
Yes, do you remember?
Oh, the static.
Yeah, the static and AM radio and bouncing off the clouds.
Yeah.
This week I'm working on simplifying the message. I'm going to try to create a place for deeper discussions. Please consider taking me up on an offer. I will do a free chart reading for the next 5 YouTube subscribers.
Ooh. Really, that seems like a lot of work, though.
No, it's a good thing that I love it then.
Well, we're going to keep on practicing, both astrologies and music.
Okay. Astrology and music. Okay, Saturn limitations. Pick one.
You're a mutable rising sign. Do it all.
Okay, maybe. Hey, everybody, have a happy Astro Week. Happy Astrocatting. God only knows how long it took to upload this stuff. Ugh.